You're famous because your daddy's famous.
Family drama behind closed doors is one thing, but when it bursts into the public eye, it becomes a headline frenzy. The internet eats that stuff up like popcorn. Every argument, every clip, every quote. People repost it, dissect it, and drop their own expert opinions.
Why did I bring that up? Because PMG, you know, he did that same thing that Lil King doing.
Even if they have no clue what's really going on. And when emotions run high, that outside noise only adds more fuel to the fire. This time, all eyes are on the Harris family. Rapper T.I., his son King, and comedian Hughley, caught up in a storm that's shaking the hip-hop scene. Word is, T.I. and his son got into such an intense fight that the rapper's now genuinely worried King could be heading down the wrong road. Some say T.I.'s comments came from a place of love. Others think he just lost his cool. But one thing's for sure, it got messy fast.
Quiz, man, stop hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King.
Hughley, never one to hold his tongue, threw in his 2 cents, saying what many were already thinking but didn't dare to say out loud. But I didn't take that lightly. Not at all. He felt DL crossed a line, and the tension between them started brewing instantly. Everything reached a breaking point after the family attended the Atlanta Falcons game over Thanksgiving weekend. What was supposed to be a chill outing turned into chaos when King went live on Instagram mid-argument. Millions watched as father and son clashed, voices rising, frustration spilling out, both trying to prove their point while the world watched in shock.
Stop going to prison.
After the drama, King posted that he'd been staying with his grandmother to get away from the constant tension at home. He claimed people around him don't understand what he's feeling. But T.I. fired right back, calling his son's behavior embarrassing and saying he was making the family look bad. Now fans are split. Some sympathize with King, saying he's just struggling to find his place, while others side with T.I., claiming he's just trying to teach his son respect. Either way, this feud isn't dying down anytime soon. It's the talk of the whole hip-hop world.
When we grew up, we actually grew up in the circumstances they romanticize.
When King Harris's outburst went viral, the internet didn't hold back. A lot of folks online claimed his meltdown wasn't justified at all. Instead, they blamed it on what they called poor parenting from T.Y. and Tiny. Critics flooded the comments, saying the whole situation showed a lack of discipline at home. And one voice that really stirred the pot? Comedian and actor Hughley. When TMZ caught up with him to ask about the Harris family drama, he didn't mince words.
King, very disrespectful.
DL spoke openly about his friend T.I., saying he understood where the rapper came from. The struggle, the grind, the years of sacrifice to give his family a better life. But to see his own son throw that away for social media attention, that hit deep. DL said, "To have somebody that you work so hard and sacrifice for to sow all over your memory and accomplishments for clicks is insulting.
You're famous because your daddy's famous.
We actually grew up in the circumstances they romanticize about." He reminded everyone that T.I. came from poverty, and those struggles were what inspired his rise to fame. But that doesn't mean he wanted his kids to live through the same pain. According to DL, King's public tantrum wasn't just a family argument. It was disrespect, plain and simple. He argued that T.I. deserved more appreciation from his son for building the kind of life most people could only dream about. The comedian continued, "He's insulting the effort they put into raising him for clicks. You're stomping all over his memory and you're doing it so you can be famous." Then came the line that broke the internet. "You're famous because your daddy's famous." That statement alone sent social media into a frenzy, with fans instantly taking sides. But just when people thought the drama couldn't get any wilder, King Harris ended up getting arrested. Yep, things escalated fast. According to reports, King stopped at a Waffle House, placed his order, and things went south when the food came out wrong. Witnesses say he got heated with an employee, flexing his wealth and snapping, "Everything you make, I can pull out of my pocket right now." The moment was caught on video, of course, and spread across the internet like wildfire. From family tension to public humiliation and now a run-in with the law, King's downfall became the talk of the town. Fans are debating whether he's acting out for attention or crying out for help. But one thing's clear, this family feud just went from messy to full-blown mayhem. "I'm not tripping on you. I'm not talking to you. You're famous because your daddy's famous." Those were the words that echoed online after DL Hughley's viral comments and King Harris's fiery response. Things quickly spiraled out of control when a male coworker tried to calm King down, but instead of backing off, the young star snapped, threatening to come around the counter and pistol whip the employee. That single moment showed just how far things had gone off the rails. Not long after that incident, King ran into trouble again, this time with the police, and over something as simple as not wearing a seatbelt. It looked like every move he made was turning into a headline, and fans couldn't stop watching the chaos unfold. Then came Thanksgiving, and yet another viral clip. This time, King was seen outside in his neighborhood arguing with his mom, Tiny, in a heated back and forth that caught everyone off guard. He looked furious, yelling about how he didn't grow up with a silver spoon, claiming people had the wrong idea about him. But fans weren't buying it. They flooded the comments accusing him of being spoiled and blaming all his fame on his dad's success. Feeling cornered, King clapped back on Instagram Live, ranting against those calling him a wannabe gangster. He exploded saying, "Everybody that say I'm trying to be gangster, I ain't asked for the police to pull me over, y'all buggin'." His frustration was clear, but instead of earning sympathy, his fiery attitude only made things worse. Many fans said his ego had taken over completely and that he needed a serious reality check. And guess what? His dad, T.I., agreed. The rap legend finally broke his silence after fans kept blowing up his phone, flooding his comments, and tagging him nonstop with advice about how to fix his son. T.I. looked visibly frustrated as he went live, saying, "I got a small request. Stop hitting me and getting in my comments telling me what to tell King, okay?" He made it clear he's already had those tough conversations with his son, but deep down, he knows how this story could end. "I've already had the conversation. I've already made my peace with it," T.I. said, "because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out." His words carried the weight of experience and pain. Then, the bombshell dropped. The rapper didn't sugarcoat it. He told fans straight up that if his son didn't change his path, jail was in his future. King's actions are gonna make him have jail time, he admitted. "It's in no one's hands but his own. If he keeps this up, he's going to prison. Ain't no way around it, and there ain't nothing I can do about it." Those words hit hard. A father watching his son walk down a path he once knew too well, and realizing he might not be able to save him this time. The internet went wild, calling it both heartbreaking and brutally honest. Some said T.I. was being too harsh, others praised him for finally keeping it real. But one thing's certain, this isn't just a family feud anymore. It's a public unraveling of fame, ego, and a father's desperate attempt to save his son before it's too late. "Can't nobody stop it but him." Those were T.I.'s final emotional words. A father letting go, handing everything over to faith. The Rubber Band Man rapper wrapped up his message with a mix of heartbreak and hope, admitting that even though his son's headed down the wrong road, he still believes there's good in King's heart. You could hear the pain in his voice when he said, "He's chasing after the wrong stuff, but I trust God to handle it how he sees fit." Now, he's just gonna have to go through it and get through it. Fans flooded the comments with prayers and heartbreak emojis, saying T.I.'s honesty hit deep. It wasn't the tough rapper speaking, it was a father watching his son spiral, hoping the lessons he once learned the hard way don't have to be repeated. But the story didn't end there. When DL Hughley saw that viral clip of his longtime friend breaking down, he couldn't stay silent. The comedian took to Instagram with a powerful message backing T.I. up, and he didn't sugarcoat his words either. Hughley called out King's reckless behavior, referring to the young man's wild stunts and online antics as guerrilla gigs, a sign that he's commanding his own life but with zero care for the people around him. DL posted, "There comes a point in any relationship, parent to child or person to person, when no matter what you do to stop or change someone's behavior, they're still gonna make their own choices." He explained that at some point, parents can't protect their kids from themselves, no matter how much they try. His tone was raw, not judgmental, but weary, like someone who's seen this story play out before. He added, "Sometimes all you're doing is putting up obstacles, not deterring them at all. This ain't about tough love, it's reality." Then, in a heartfelt salute, DL showed respect to T.I. and Tiny for not giving up on their son, salute to it Troubleman31, and Tiny for keeping it real. But then came the gut punch, the part that made the post truly hit home. DL ended with a chilling confession. "T.I.'s son King is acting like my son, PMG God." For those who don't know, DL's son was recently sentenced to 20 years in prison for murder-related charges, so when he said those words, they weren't just commentary. They were coming from a father who's lived that nightmare. That statement changed the tone of the whole conversation. Suddenly, people realized this wasn't just celebrity gossip. It was a warning, a moment of truth between two fathers, both watching the boys they raised drift toward destruction. Hughley's words showed empathy, not mockery, and fans applauded the rare honesty. What started as a public family feud had now become something deeper, a story about fathers, sons, and the heartbreaking reality of watching potential turn into pain. Both men, in their own ways, were pleading for the same thing, for King to wake up before it's too late. In a recent interview, OG Percy didn't hold back when he spoke about King Harris's wild attitude. The street legend compared King's behavior to his own son's, saying straight up that the young man needs to chill out and get back on track before it's too late. Percy warned him to start acting his age and leave the street drama behind before it eats him alive. His words hit hard, and fans couldn't agree more. When King's latest outburst hit social media, people were furious. Viewers said it was disappointing to see a kid with so much opportunity throwing it all away for attention. T.I. has built a reputation as one of hip-hop's most respected figures, from his music to his businesses, and seeing his own son publicly disrespect him was tough for fans to swallow. Many pointed out that King doesn't realize how good he's got it. One viewer wrote, "He's ranting on a phone his parents probably paid for, sitting in a Falcon skybox, and only known because of who his parents are. If that ain't privilege, I don't know what is." That comment alone racked up thousands of likes, showing just how fed up people were with King's entitled attitude. But not everyone was harsh. Some fans tried to look at it from a more mature angle. Another person commented that at a certain age, every kid feels the need to break free, to do things on their own, even if it means making mistakes. They said that's when parents have to step back and let them fall, because real growth doesn't come from lectures, it comes from consequences. One viewer summed it up perfectly. Sometimes as a parent, you've done everything you can. But when your child starts rebelling, you gotta let them learn on their own. That's the only way they'll understand. At the end of the day, fans are split. Some say King's just a young man trying to find his identity under the heavy shadow of his father's fame, while others think he's taking his privilege for granted and needs to face some real-world lessons before it's too late. Either way, this drama has turned into a full-blown family saga that the whole internet's watching unfold. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more wild celebrity updates and breakdowns. See you on the next one.